Hello everybody and καλώς ήρθατε to a brand new episode. I'm babifly and today we are playing Troy, a Total War Saga. I recently got the game from Epic and I'm so excited to be playing the game with you. It's quite an interesting game. I really admire the ancient Greek folklore and I really like the Iliad per se. So myself being Greek, I really enjoyed being taught Iliad back at the school. I'm such an ardent fan of the Total War games. However, I'm really bad when it comes to tactical decisions and reaching tactical decisions. I'm not such a great warlord on the battlefield. However, I really do enjoy playing games that have some sort of historical aspect in them. And let's carry on. So without further ado, let's step in and play some Troy. So let it be known first and foremost that my PC is not the best when it comes to gaming. However, I think that it's actually gonna do its job nicely. So we get to choose a hero and play out that hero's saga. So all the heroes that you're gonna see now were somehow involved into the Trojan War, so into this war. So we have two sides, the Danaans and the Trojans. The Danaans, these two are two different tribes of Greek people, and they actually battled it over in a rather intense war, because one of the Trojan princes actually kidnapped one of the queens of the Danaans. Well, it wasn't much of a kidnapping, but it was pretty much, love at first sight. So the prince, the Trojan prince named Paris, actually enamored the queen, and thus he carried her across back to his citadel in Troy. However, this is the mythological aspect, so what Iliad describes. What we are taught in school is that it was pretty much of a conflict for resources, and when it comes to Troy, it was a vast field where one could actually breed horses, and horses were really needed back in the days of expeditions and wars. So that's pretty much the gist behind that. So when we choose whom to play as, we either get to choose the Danaan side or the Trojan side, and on the Danaan side we've got 4 different kings. So we've got Menelaus, the king of Sparta, we've got Odysseus, the king of Ithaca, Agamemnon, the king of Mycenae, and Achilles, the warlord of the Myrmidons. These four people played actually a pretty damn interesting. They had a really damn interesting role back in the entire poem, in the entire saga of Iliad. And if you're really interested in that, you should check it out for sure. But these 4 figures actually made the difference throughout the story. And on the other side, we've got the Trojans. So among them, we've got the 2 brothers, Hector, the Prince of Troy, and Paris, the youngest Prince of Troy, who was the one to have so much kidnapped Menelaus' queen. Her name was Helena. And the third choice is Aeneas, the Lord of Dardania. He's supposed to allegedly he is the forefather of the Romans. So he escaped from Troy and he pretty much went to the Italian peninsula, establishing a different foothold there. So I'm not familiar with Aeneas' story. If any of you are actually familiar with that, feel free to let me know down in the comments below. However, today we're gonna be playing with Sarpedon. So in Greek it's Sarpedon, and he was the king of Lycia. He was the son of Zeus. So let it be known that in the entire Iliad saga, gods and humans played a crucial role in the history. So not only humans did fight on the battlefield, but gods fought between each other as well. but themselves being immortal. They didn't kill each other per se. However, it was much more of a war of intrigue between the celestial beings, known as the 12 gods of Olympus, and they were also divided into two different sides, the ones favoring the Danaans and the others favoring the Trojans. So a historian behind that might actually say that it is a matter of what these two tribes believe in the end. Because as soon as we begin the game, we're going to find out that among the Trojans, there is a tribe of the Pelasgians, which was a Greek tribe that worshipped Hera, so the goddess of the wife of Zeus solely. And in the Iliad saga, Hera is on the side of Trojans. So we're gonna play as Sarpedon. In Sarpedon's story, the king of Lycia was the son of Zeus and the mortal. I'm not familiar with Sarpedon's mother name. However, he was one great warlord, and he was supposed to have been quite unbeatable. However, in the Battle of Iliad, in the Battle of Troy, he had the story played out a rather different turn of events for that king. I'm not willing to spoil anything out for you in case we encounter that throughout the game. So, without further ado, let's step in and play as Sarpedon.
Integrity is all.
From the sound of it, he sounds quite of an old wise guy. However, his build and stature says pretty much different thing. From what we see, the starting situation of Sarpedon is easy, because you see that he finds himself on the edge of the map, which is great because we don't have too many natural neighbors. And this is Asia Minor. In this area, in the entire area here, many Greek tribes would actually build city-states, different from Athens and Sparta. Athens and Sparta were the most famous one at that point. However, the city-state of Lycia was pretty much of a kingdom. That's why Sarpedon is the king of Lycia, and it wasn't a democracy or anything. However, in Asia Minor, one would find so many precious resources, and that's mainly the reason that the War of the Iliad actually took place, because of the resources. And Sarpedon's Lycia is quite proficient at establishing trade missions, establishing trade routes. Lycia was supposed to have been one of the best trading centers in the ancient Greece. So the campaign difficulty is set on normal, the battle difficulty is set on normal. Let it be known that this entire walkthrough, this entire playthrough is going to be quite different from the ones you already know. Even though we're playing a Total War game, I'm so crap in the game that even when I'm winning, I manage to lose. That's why I'm gonna ask you before we start, does anybody object with me putting everything on auto battle? No, I figured so. So now that you've proven that you don't have a problem with that, I'm gonna start playing the game. Prove our honor. Let's prove our honor and let's play.
Are we mere playthings of the gods? Or do we plead divine influence to justify our foolish choices?
He's taken her! He's taken my wife! You've risked the safety of Troy.
Troy is my home now.
You have my oath, brother. She will be returned to you. Brother, I can fight. Go. Seek shelter. There'll be plenty of fighting ahead.
That was supposed to have been Hector.
The wrath of Achaea will descend upon Troy. Paris acted in love, that he has incited war. Whether the walls of Ilios will endure, only the gods can tell.
That was some pretty cool, damn cool armor. Sarpedon, said to be the son of Zeus himself, assembles his honorable Lycian warriors in order to assist Troy in her hour of need. So the thing that actually that the Assassin's Creed series have done to me was that when I'm playing a game set in the ancient Greece, I really expect to be listening to accents, English in some sort, with some sort of Greek accent, and I pretty much expect that now. Now, listening to the actor speaking perfect English actually disengages me from the immersion of the game. However, it's such a minor thing, and I really like the artistic take on that they have taken on Helena as well, the queen of Sparta. Did you notice that she has some sort of white powder on her face? That is because Homer described her as of pale complexity and fair of hair.
Ah, divine Sarpedon. Long ago, your people were banished from rich and beautiful Crete by the forefathers of Menelaus. The coming war between the Achaeans and the Trojans could present a long-awaited opportunity to retake the island.
My experience and wisdom may serve Troy well.
Lycia is Troy's ally. You share a common destiny with King Priam. To the north are the ruins of settlements destroyed by raiding tribes. These can be recolonized. To the east lie the lands of the Leleges. These tribes wage war on the coastal Ionians. Across the sea, on rich and beautiful roads, the Achaeans have established prosperous settlements. From these, they hope to keep you at bay. On the mainland to the north are their Achaean allies. They represent a chance for trade and possibly conquest. Further north are your kin, the Chariots. They can be trusted in times of need. Become familiar with your interests, your friends, and your enemies. Make them all work for you.
I really like the fact that Homer is actually our tutorial guide. It makes so much sense because the Iliad was written by him, and the following saga that was Odyssey was also written by the same guy. Basically, these two works of art weren't written, but they were spoken. That's why he ranked among the best of the rhapsodes available in ancient Greece, because his works of art were spoken rather than written. Okay, so let's start. And the game starts by showing us how we play. It's a helper about how to play Lycia. It says that we've got precious resources. The people of Lycia value greatly items that hold little meaning to most other mortals. In times of need, Sarpedon can acquire these and use them to boost the productivity and affluence of his subjects. And we've got the Lycian trade missions. Sarpedon of Lycia is eager to extend his tribal influence over foreign territories, for in this way he can convince traders to send their caravans to lofty Lycia instead of other destinations. The caravans may bring him precious resources discovered in their homelands. This is this is a good helper, really. So I've tried Sarpedon in the past, and his playthrough is quite straightforward and easy. So the first mission to be issued to us is that we need to defeat an enemy, defeat an army belonging to the following faction in battle: Rhodes. The warmongers of Rhodes have advanced with their forces, which now threaten your lands and the livelihood of your people. March out with your army and defeat them in battle. Armies are used to defend home cities and to attack enemy cities and armies. Armies may be selected by left-clicking, right-click to move, or attack with a selected army. So I'm always, when I'll be reading these, I'm always gonna be reading the objective and the description, but the flavor text rather than, you know, the mechanical game term, because I don't want to bog you people down with too much descriptions. So let's close. Once again, let me tell you that this playthrough is not going to be about tactics and strategy in warfare, so I'm not going to be playing the battles out. However, if you want to have a rather relaxed and straightforward playing on the map with heroes and armies, and by listening to me actually giving some sort of info when it comes to the to some historical and mythological data as well, feel free to stay and watch me playing. So basically, the most interesting part about Lycia is that Homer was right. Sarpedon was hailed from the island of Crete, which is here, and the Mycenaeans, which were a different tribe, the one that Agamemnon and Menelaus from the Achaeans originated. The Mycenaeans actually kicked the forefathers of Sarpedon off Crete and into the coasts of Lycia. So right now the game prompts us, Homer actually prompted us to take some sort of revenge against the ones that kicked us out back then. What I really like about the game is that, do you see back to the horizon, the black and tan color resembling to an amphoreus? It's quite thematic in the most aesthetical of senses. I really like the touch of the developers and how they presented everything. So without further ado, let's click on Sarpedon. Our units consists of our leader, our epic hero, and 5 different units. So we've got the Anatolian youths, a spear and shield infantry that have a poor attack but they are shielded and don't have much of an upkeep. The next ones are the Elysian axe warriors, who have an excellent morale and are good chargers, a 200 axe infantry with a weight class of medium. Our ranged attackers of Eastern Slingers, sling infantry with a weight class of light and good versus missiles and poor morale. And we also got the Elysian winged chariots. It's a bow chariot. These are our ranged attackers, the best ranged attackers that we can field right now, with a weight class of light chariot, skirmish mounted and swift footed. So with these, we're gonna charge against Cleodoros of Rhodes, hoping to drive him off our coast. Okay, so the divine support in this battle is none, so no god is in our side. From the battle deployment, you see a meter here. The yellow side is us, the red side is our opponent. So if the yellow bar leans, if the bar leans towards the yellow side, it means that we have an advantage, power-wise and advantage-wise. So we are attacking Rhodes in the region of Tel Messos, and the terrain is grassland. So please do understand that I'm really bad at this. If I'm playing the battles, you're gonna be face-palming yourself so many times, so I don't want this to happen. Hence, I'm gonna go for an auto-resolve. But before anything, I'm gonna quick save, just making sure that nothing gets worse, and let's auto-resolve the battle. Wow, that was quite brutal, but you saw our hero, Sarpedon, pulling a Cadmean victory. We got some food, we got some experience, and we lost 154 people, whereas the enemy lost everything. Wow. It was quite intense, wasn't it? But we did lose a unit, the Anatolian youths. So let's see. We caught some prisoners. So do we want to use them as barter pawns and get some food in return? Do we want to spill their blood, kill them now, and get plus 8% to morale in our own units? Or do we want to replenish the remaining units that we have? Do you see the yellow bar next to 3 of our units? The yellow bar means that these are going to be replenished. So it's an 18% of that. So do you know what? Let's be merciful and show them that Sarpedon can be benevolent sometimes. So these men are of good skill and brave heart. Should they swear allegiance to our cause in front of the gods, we shall embrace them as our own. So take them on.
They will serve as slaves.
Yeah, okay. He didn't voice it as nicely as I would have expected.
Victory.
Cool. So we got ourselves some food and some bronze. Bronze is quite needed, pretty much needed, in order to field some better units. Bronze gave actually access to the best technological units of the era. So we pretty much want to have to use the bronze that we have. Right now we got a brand new mission prompting us to master the troops, and we need to actually hire 7 more units and have 12 units in total. If we pull that off, we'll be getting something extra. And we managed to have pulled the Cadmean Victory, and that was it. We killed Cleodoros. Cleodoros, our enemy from Rhodes, has perished in Battle of Telmessos. Okay, so let's start playing. Let's see where things are right now. So everything that you saw here lies here in the reports. First of all, before carrying forward, let's see what our character is all about. What about Sarpedon himself? So basically we've got the Sarpedon with 4 different traits. These traits are one-off, so as soon as you got that trait you cannot improve it, but this one can be improved later on. So first of all, he's of a specific lineage. So he's the son of Zeus and Laodamia. That's why he gets plus 5% battle speed of chariot units in his army, and plus 10 to deal evaluation for all diplomatic agreements except barters. So he's good at actually forcing things other than bartering. He's not that of a good barterer himself. He is an epic hero, which means that this is an immortal hero, a faction leader. He's got a plus 20% to generated rage. He's got 15 morale of a hero, plus 3 to influence in his region. Influence is a different thing because in that particular game, we can have different cultures in our provinces, and different cultures affect things differently. So he increases to his region, he increases the influence of his own culture. And he's a Homeric character, which means that since he's destined for greatness, he cannot be killed in battle. This is a thing that this company actually managed to have implemented in its latest games of Total War. They actually introduce a pretty much more buffed up version of a warrior in the hero, and these heroes can single-handedly defeat an entire unit, which feels quite epic and quite nice, especially when it comes to the implementation of Iliad and the Trojan War. The last trait is called Firm but Fair. This one is sometimes stern. I mean, this one's Sarpedon, right? Sometimes stony, but always entirely equitable. Spend multiple turns in a settlement with low happiness, and we're gonna improve this. So if we do that, we're gonna get to the next level of Firm but Fair. That being said, he contributes plus 1 to happiness in the local province, of that province in particular. So expect Sarpedon to be pretty much of a stern leader, so people are somewhat afraid of him and get happy when he is around. I wonder, is it because he is a bit fearful or not? He's the king of Lycia. He's got minus 15 to diplomatic relations with the Achaeans and plus 35 to diplomatic relations with the Trojans, consisting of Pelasgians, Leleges, Meonians, and Thracians. And you can find it out here in the factions. We've got the Leleges, Achaeans, Ionians, and Pelasgians. And as I told you before, These Pelagians were the ones that actually worshipped Hera. Okay, let's begin. We have two different cities, so to say, so two different places in our province. So this is the province of Lycia, consisting of Telmessos, Kalinda, and Movola. Movola is ruins, and we need to repopulate these ruins as soon as possible. However, you see here that there are some spaces empty in both Telmessos and Kalinda. We can use these, we can fill these spaces up with different buildings. So right now the game shows us that we have the resources needed to actually improve the level of our training grounds, of our master field, to the training grounds, and this will unlock us two different units.
They will sing of this triumph.
All these things have a cap equal to the level of the of our citadel. So the first building to see in a specific region is always that type of city or settlement, and the level of that actually acts as a cap for the level of the other buildings on that particular region. So for example, now all of my buildings can reach up to level 3, but not 4 or 5. And do you know what? So Telmessos is a province capital, and Kalinda is a stone quarry settlement, which you can see from here. So we have a good production of stone, a good production of wood, a good production of bronze, and an okay production of food.
Father has smiled on us.
Yes, he has. And some gold. What we really need to do in this game is actually make sure that these numbers here are actually high. That's why we want to maintain that. And do you know what? I really want to proceed by increasing our stone output. So we can either build special buildings, military buildings, or resources in Kalinda, and I really want to go for a resources thing. And you know what? Let's go for... I think I'm gonna go for that, for the builders' quarters. Time was when a settlement's inhabitants would pull together to build it. Now such matters form a separate, well-respected career. So let's go for the builders' quarters. This will give us 28 stone per turn and is going to reduce the construction time of all the buildings in the province. And when we say province, we mean both three regions of Telmessos, Kalinda, and Movola. So let's go for a builders' quarter. However, this will decrease our influence by -4 over to the entire province. The Lelegan Influence that you see here is here. It says that buildings with a high influence bonus provide additional resources
Victory.
if influence in the province is 60 or above. Right now it's 85, it's increasing. And if we do that, then we're gonna have we're gonna get a -4 from that. Okay? The main competitor of that, right now we see that the Ionian influence is getting reduced. I think that this was supposed to be an Ionian area, but I'm not 100% sure. So we've built something on Kalinda. Do we want to go for something in Telmessos? Oh, well, first of all, I'm gonna move Sarpedon back to Telmessos and have him reinforce his units even faster. And let's perform a local recruitment. So we'll be needing some Anatolian youths for sure. We don't have the wood needed to actually go for a winged chariot right now, but I would want some light skirmishers that actually act as ranged attackers. So let's go for light skirmishers, and for an axe warrior we don't have any, so let's go for that. We can ask for up to 3 units in an entire turn. So if we queue more, you're gonna see that the number here is getting 2, so 2, which means that we're gonna get this unit in 2 turns rather than 1. However, these 3 are gonna arrive on the next turn. So I'm fine with that. Everything looks good, the rank is okay, everything's yeah. So let's try to build something more. Do we want to go for something in Telmesos? However, let me also tell you that if we try to build something that already exists in the game, it's not gonna boost anything, it's not gonna help us in any way. What to do? Do you know what? I'm gonna keep the slots as they are because they are limited in amount, and I really want to be quite flexible when it comes to building something else. What about Kalinda? Can I actually build? Yes, let's go for exotic goods storage. This decreases by -5 to the construction cost of all building, and it increases 1 to our precious resource, and we lose happiness by 1, but we get a +2 right now, which is good, and we get +10 to administration efficiency for enacting royal decrees. Let's go for the exotic goods storage. It's gonna take us 2 turns to build. I don't mind, to be honest with you. And let's see now about the royal decrees. Oh, before we do that, first of all, let's check on the objectives. How can we win in the game? We can either win by pulling off a Homeric Victory or a Total War one. The Total War one is a typical one that you can find in other Total War games by defeating your antagonist, by occupying, razing, or sacking different settlements, in this case 100. And if we control 3 settlements either by direct ownership or through vassalhood or military allies of Troy, Mycenae, and Knossos. Pretty much plain and square, you know, like a risk gaming thing. Just control as many territories as you can, even through diplomacy. And the Homeric Victory actually asks us to complete Sarpedon's epic mission chain. What's more, we also destroy or confederate the Mycenaeans, the Spartans, and the people of Knossos. And the game asks of us to have at least 50 Minoan relics, because we are of Minoan descent, 50 celestial iron, right? Not bronze, iron. Iron was supposed to have been a metal that fell from the sky. I don't know if this was the case, but in the ancient Greek history, in the Saga of Iliad, iron was something extraterrestrial brought from the gods themselves. And last but not least, the white granite, the famous granite with which the Cyclopean walls were built in Troy. It was rumored that the gods actually used this resource to build the walls around Troy. That's why the entire city was impervious to siege, and that according to the story, it took the Achaeans 10 years before the actual saga happened. They surrounded Troy for 10 years without sieging it because they couldn't pierce the walls. That was it. So we need these 3 different things. We need to have them en masse, 50, so to say. And keep in mind that Sarpedon is actually good at doing that. Let it be known that if we played as someone else, this shouldn't have been the case and wouldn't have been the case. We would have had a different way to play the game. And let's go and see. Here we got the precious resources. Why Sarpedon seeks and stockpiles rare goods which others overlook. As soon as Lycia owns a settlement with deposits of precious resources, here people will begin gathering. The son of Zeus can make use of these goods to improve his faction's construction, strengthen the military, or gain favor with the gods by using all these 3. As you see here, we got the map, and you see that these 3 provinces actually generate white granite, which is actually true because both our capital and our mining settlement produce white granite. That's why we get +2, 1 from each settlement per turn. And if we have 20 to spend, then we can distribute the resources here and get these bonuses. Okay, however, how do we get the rest? That's what Lycia was good at. We can establish trade missions. Sarpedon can spread his influence within other factions' territories by trading with them. When a faction is influenced, Sarpedon can ask them for exotic goods in the regions or affect their trade. If you don't perform any diplomatic exchange with someone, if you don't establish some sort of connection between yourselves, you cannot perform a trade mission from Lycia to them. So you see that here we've got 6 different factions with which we have talked. We've got the Chariots, and who are supposed to be friendly to us, and if we ask for their precious resources, they have 60 celestial iron to hand out, and for 20 gold we can click that button and get 5 of that celestial iron. It's worth noting that this can only be done once per faction. So let's ask the Chariots for some metal, for some iron, and they actually gave us 5. Did you see that getting reduced by 5? This is their these are their resources, but if you check here, we got 5 iron. Jolly, isn't it? Now we need to have 50 of all 3, and sometimes the game is going to also ask us to hand out our resources to our people, so we definitely need to keep tabs on these. So in Athena offers us iron as well for 20. Should we go for that? Or better, Rhodes can give us 40 Minoan relics. This is the only faction that can actually give us that, because they are next to Crete, so they have access to that. Ask for the precious resources. I don't know if by any point, if we increase our if we establish some better diplomatic relationships with them, will the cost be reduced? I'm not 100% sure, but I'm willing to find out. Okay, so this is it, because we've got just 10 gold. We cannot spend more to others. See that Lavans don't have anything. Perea, nothing. Triopion, nothing whatsoever. Only Anthiada has celestial iron. The Carians do have the same, and Rhodes have Minoan relics, and that's it. So we've established missions, great, with both factions, which is good. What else can we do? Okay, let's check on the royal decrees. This is our technology screen. However, it's branded as the royal decrees, which is much more fitting to that era. So now you see 5 different areas, and 2 of them have already been researched, the very first stage though. So we have a treasure hall, and we've got a royal bronze. So from that we can either choose this or that. From here we can choose either this or that, or we can start a brand new branch. These 3 branches give us a boost in these 3 resources, and right now I think that the royal granaries is a much better thing for us to do. However, the most prudent one would be to have a royal timber, because we definitely need access to more wood. Wood is quite necessary for building almost all the buildings in the game. Marble is good as well, but not as good as timber, and we definitely need to have more access to that. So let's go for royal timber. 100 wood per turn faction wide. I don't know if that means that the rest of our faction is gonna get anything. I'm not sure. Let's go for timber for now. This is gonna be ready in 7 turns, so we still have time. Let's try to negotiate with someone. Let's try to see let's see the diplomatic screen. I'm not gonna do anything right now because I don't have many resources to hand. Oh no, I actually have bronze. Okay, let's see. These are the factions that I can deal with, and see here. These are the resources of my targeted faction. These are my resources, these are of my targets. If you see a red here, it means that this resource has been saturated, and that's why this faction won't regard it highly when negotiating, which means that we can ask more of that, and we can give more of these actually. So the Carians actually need everything that we have. They need these things here. What about the Tlawans? The Tlawans do so as well, and they are enemies of Perea. The Carians are... Oh, they have a non-aggression part. They are a non-aggressive partner with us. So they have a strength of rank 35. We've got 20. They are aggressive. unreliable, strategists, and Trojan renegades. For one reason or another, they believe that Hades himself is embodied in other Trojans. Okay, and they are opportunists. Okay, do you know what? Keep your friends close, but your enemies closer. So I'm gonna deal with the unreliable Carians and their leader Nastis. His name is Nasty. Oh dear. Okay, let's negotiate with him.
Sarpedon's age is said to have brought him wisdom.
Thank you, noble Nastis, but I really don't trust what you're saying right now. So let's start by saying I want a single barter. I'm not that good of a dealer when it comes to bartering, remember that. However, I'm gonna, you know what, I'm gonna ask of some wood. Cool. Let's say 100 for now. And I'm gonna offer you, we've got some good deal of bronze. So what if I offer you 100 bronze? Okay, you will accept that because you like the value of what I'm offering, but I'm a hard cookie. Okay, can we say 30? Yeah. 40? Yeah. No, not 50, right? Okay, what about 47? 49? Ha! You nasty man. Okay, he wouldn't accept 150, but he would accept 149. So I'm willing to go with that because I really need the wood here. Let's go for it. Would you like that, Nasty?
I certainly will.
Fantastic. Cool, so we got more. Let's exit our negotiation. Oh, wait a minute, no. We've got some more to give, actually. You know what? I don't want to talk with you. I want to talk with others. Can I do that without exiting the screen? No, I need to exit. Okay, let us start some negotiations with the Tlawans, because they need bronze as well.
Break out the good wine and let's talk.
They're defensible, reliable diplomats, settlers, and they have a relative strength of 35. Okay. Why did my strength rank got reduced? I don't know, but let's establish. Let's have a single barter here. I need 100 of your wood for 100 of my bronze. Okay. Would you get for 49? What about 50? Cool. What about 60? Am I driving a hard bargain here? I don't know. Come on. Oh yeah, that's 51. I got you here. So, Amphimache, you are such a nice diplomat. Let's offer you that. Cool. I think I'm okay. I've dealt with both Tlawans and I can remember their name. Tlawans and Carians. The Carians are supposed to be here. We haven't opened our borders or anything yet. We might do so in the foreseeable future. Let's go for a divine will. This is the last tab that I'm gonna visit right now before clicking next turn. Here you see 7 different gods. These 7 gods were actually rumored to have been involved in the war of the Iliad Saga. However, some of them have also assisted the Achaeans, but these ones have also assisted the Trojans. And let's see, so if we can choose a god here and then either choose to offer a prayer or a hecatomb. A hecatomb means to sacrifice 100 of a tribe's livestock. That's why it's called a hecatomb. So it's a tomb of 100, and they would sacrifice these as offerings to the gods. However, later on, as the livestock became much more important, they would sacrifice less than 100, but then use these sacrificed animals to a feast to honor the gods. So, do you know what? I wish to offer a hecatomb, but for 500. Yes, because I'll be getting 1697 later on in our next turn. Let me check something. I would really love to actually field some agents in the foreseeable future, and in order for me to do so, it says here that improve your cult level with any of the following gods to increase the maximum number available. And right now, it asks us to increase that with Athena, the goddess of noble combat and arts and civilization. Okay, so shall I go with Athena? She's the protector of the cities. So if I'm gonna sacrifice to Athena 500 of my food. Shall we make the sacrifice? Yes. Cool. So you see now the goddess Athena here. So it says plus 20 to morale of spear units and minus 2 to 20% to fatigue in battle for all units while defending. Cool. And if we offer a prayer to her, we need to spend 600 food and 30 gold to get plus 2 to recruit rank of all units, plus 1 to local recruitment capacity faction-wide. We cannot perform a hecatomb or a prayer as many times as we want. It's just 1 and 1 for all the gods. And the favored decay here is a minus 10. So gods are getting displeased later on. Our temples and rituals have pleased the gods. The omens clearly show their favor. Cool. In honor of Athena. Okay, 100 bulls for the glory of Athena. 100 signs of our obeisance. I do apologize if my pronunciation of the Greek names is quite difficult to understand, but I'm gonna try to use the ones that we used in our language, and sometimes I'm also gonna read them out in the in an English pronunciation, but I think that it's a bit much more immersive when it comes to playing a game such as Troy, Total War. So okay, we've offered to the gods. Now we see that we can field some we will be able to field some agents later on in the foreseeable future, and I don't want to trouble you further, so as I'm gonna click the end of turn button. But before I do that, this was the first turn of the game. It was quite filled with information. I do apologize if it took a bit longer. However, I really wanted to make sure that we are on the same page, that you understand everything that you are watching me doing. So that's it. Thank you very much for your time. If you really liked what you saw, I would be pretty indebted to you to have you once again on the following episodes of Troy, the Total War. I really thank you for that. Please feel free to subscribe to my channel, and if you like what you saw, feel free to click on the bell button so as to be notified as soon as a brand new video goes online. Thank you very much for your time, and see you next time.